Ready to escape into a world of enchanting pixels? What is up, my peeps? And today we're going to be reading Graphic Careers, Race Car Drivers by these people down here. Alright, let's get into it. The early years of car racing. On December 19th, 1983, the French news magazine Le Petit Journal, I think that's how you pronounce that, announced a trial for horseless carriages from Paris to Rouen. 21 vehicles took part in the event in 1894, not 1984, and although it was not a race, it ignited interest in automobiles. The first race. After the success of the Paris-Rouen trial, it was thought that a race would be more exciting. Thus, the first organized car race was held in 1895 on the open roads of France, from Paris to Bordeaux and back. Emile Lavister won a race in a Panhard Lavister that had the top speed of 18.5 miles, and 29.7 kilometers per hour. Bigger and faster. These early racing events were both a proving ground for the new car makes and a shop window for people wanting to buy cars. I mean, that makes sense, right? Winning was all important. Speeds increased as engine sizes grew. By 1908, massive engines of 12-13 liters, mounted on flimsy frames with only primitive brakes, propelled the cars up to 160 kilometers, which in miles is 100 miles per hour. A Bentley charges around the Le Mans 24-hour circuit race. Why did they say race circuit there? That's weird. Anyway, the race tested a car's reliability as well as its speed. International car racing. Car racing became a major international sporting event when, in 1900, James Gordon Bennett, an American newspaper tycoon living in Paris, put up the cash and trophy for a series of races promoting a contest between national teams. However, there were many car manufacturers who could not enter due to the 3 cars per team rule. Inevitably, other race events began to appear. In 1904, William K. Vanderbilt organized a cup in his name in the U.S., and in 1906, the French held the first Grand Prix at Le Mans. The Pure Racer. By the 1930s, the high-priced road cars were transformed into pure racers with Delage Auto Union with Delage, I think I'm saying that right, Auto Union, and of course, 2 very recognizable auto manufacturers, Mercedes-Benz and Bugatti. Constructing streamlined cars with supercharged engines and extensive use of aluminum alloys? I think so you pronounce that. Apart from the Italian Mille Miglia, I think so you say that, most races were now held on specifically built tracks, such as the Nürburgring in Germany and the Indianapolis 500 in the U.S. By the 1950s, car racing events were held around the world, from single-seater open wheel to stock car racing, attracting huge crowds who craved the sights, sounds, and smells of speed and danger. Specifically built race cars began to be made during the 1930s, like this Auto Union Type D. Wow, that looks really cool. Oh my god, it even has dually tires as well. This is before all the big pickup trucks you see nowadays have dually tires. So just think, in the 1930s, they also had dually tires as well. Interesting. Huh, maybe that's why. That's the thing now. Here we go. Here's more recognizable forms of racing. Types of auto racing. Since 1895, car racing has become increasingly popular, as various regulations, formulas, and racing organizations have formed over the years. So many have the variations of the sport. So have the many variations of the sport. Wow, I cannot read today. Categories. One of the most popular forms of auto racing worldwide is single-seater open-wheel racing. The best known is Formula One, which has an annual world championship for drivers and constructors. Touring car racing is popular in Europe and the U.S. It uses heavily modified street cars. The most popular form of autosport in the US is, of course, NASCAR. The race cars look a lot like street cars, but underneath the lightweight body, they are specialized racing machines. Another popular street-type car racing is rallying. The World Rally Championship, or the WRC, is the top series, with events taking place all over the world. In sports car racing, especially built prototype cars and production sports cars compete on closed circuits. The most famous of races are the 24 Hours of Le Mans and Daytona. One of the noisiest and fastest is drag racing, where two specialized vehicles compete on a quarter-mile, 400-meter strip. These are just a few of many types of auto racing. Other include Targa racing, Targa Rally, one-make racing, production car racing, historical racing, and even hill climbing, which is also very popular with off-roading too, by the way. Alright, so here are the pictures. A Formula One Ferrari takes a bend at Indianapolis. Above, GP sports cars race at Lexington, Ohio, on the right. On the left here is a top methanol dragster at Sanapod. Here we go. Henning Solberg drives a Peugeot... I think I'm saying that right. Peugeot? Yeah, I think the T's silent. Drives a Peugeot 206 during the WRC Neste rally. It looks like Nestle, but it's not. In Finland, above, right here. And, of course, this picture, which takes up half the page. NASCAR race cars hurtle around the Daytona 500 oval circuits right here. Anyway, moving on. Oh, here we go. So apparently in this book, there's like very Marvel/DC inspired comic book stories. So without further ado, let's go. Juan Miguel Fango. Formula One, the greatest driver of all time. It is 1990. The famous Argentinian racing driver Fango, I think I'm saying that right, hopefully I am, is being interviewed about his race at the Nürburgring, Germany in 1951. This was the big race of the year. If you won this, you would win the championship for the 5th time. Yes, I was starting in pole position. The two British drivers, Mike Hawthorne and Peter Collins, were behind me in the Ferraris. My Maserati had Pirelli tires, I think that's how you say that, which were good for grip, but more faster than the harder Engelbert's tires the Ferraris were using. Their tires would allow them to race without stopping in the pits, but I would need to change my tires. Also, pole position means the first position on the start grid. My plan was to go faster in the first half of the race and build up a 30-second lead. This would give the mechanics enough time to change tires and refuel. Refuel? Yes. To make my car wider and faster, we decided to only half-fill the fuel tank. That is actually really clever. I remember race day was hot. And they're off. The two Ferraris shot off first. As they passed the finish line after the first lap, it's Hawthorne Collins and Fango in third. Fango had better get a move on if he wants a 30-second lead. I waited for an opening to get by. These guys are going like firemen. By the third lap, I was losing my patience. These two were racing each other, so I started closing on Collins. Fango is making his move. I passed him just after the pits and overtook Hawthorne on the Anidu downslope. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Fango leads here at the Nürburgring. By the fourth lap, I was concentrating on my plan. The two English drivers kept close behind, but as they kept racing each other, I was able bit by bit to build up my 30-second lead. Look at that, son. Fango is pulling away from the Ferraris. On lap 11, I passed the pits. I was given the sign to come in. Good, I have my 30-second lead. And on lap 12, I pulled into the pits. Water, quick! Wait, what? Oh, for the engine temperature, duh. I mean, yeah, the radiator for there. Oh no, never mind. Wow. Wow. I guess if your radiator was overheating, you'd probably say water now to cool down both you and the radiator of the car. Anyway, I was so thirsty, I drank a whole bottle of mineral water. The mechanics changed the tires and refueled the car. And there's a vertical shot of them doing that. The mechanics should have finished by now. Suddenly, I realized something was wrong. Fango is still in the pits, and there go Hawthorne and Collins. The mechanics had messed up the refueling, and one of the wheels wouldn't come off. By the time I left the pits, I was 48 seconds behind. God, that would suck in real life. Anyway, well, that's the end of a beautiful dream. The tires I took a couple of laps to warm up, which made me 51 seconds behind. As the tires bedded in, I found I was gaining ground on the Ferraris. The two Ferraris were playing at passing each other. It seems that Romeo Tavoli, the Ferrari team manager, thought I'd never catch up. He had signaled them to take it easy. I realized that you could take some bends faster in a higher gear. It was risky. I must have saved a good second on that corner, but effective. I did this all over the circuit, and by lap 16 I was only 30 seconds behind. The Ferrari pits hung out signals to warn their driver as I was catching up. He is catching up to us. My car was running like a dream, and I started breaking the lap record on every lap. But the race was drawing to a close. Would I have time to catch the two flying Englishmen? Okay, that was funny. 9 minutes, 17.4 seconds. Suddenly, in the distance, I saw the red dots of the Ferraris. This is it. I can catch these two. With 2 laps to go, I was right behind Peter Collins. I got beside him, coming into a left-hander. At the end was a little narrow concrete bridge. One of us will have to brake. At the last moment, Peter braked, and I was in second place. And there was Hawthorne right in front of me. He really piled it on. About halfway around the circuit, Mike went right to take the perfect line through a left-hand bend. There's a gap on the inside. This is my chance. Fango has taken the lead. After that, I really turned it on. Mike fought back, and when I got to the checkered flag, he was only 3 seconds behind me. Fango takes the checkered flag here at the Nürburgring. Fango retired from car racing the next year. His record 5 World Championship titles stood for 45 years. Today, he is still considered by many to be the greatest driver of all time. The end of this story, but not the end of this video. Of course. Now, here we go. Something I can actually read. Dale Earnhardt Sr., NASCAR driver, better known as the Intimidator. It is July 28, 1996 at Die Hard 500. Are you kidding me? Is that seriously the name of that race? Anyways. Talladega. Earnhardt in his black number 3 race car, aka his Chevy Monte Carlo, is leading the Winston Cup Championship, which if he wins will give him his 8th championship win, the highest number of championship wins ever. Earnhardt is an aggressive driver, which has earned him the nickname the Intimidator. Earnhardt on the inside and Sterling Marlin outside. NASCAR means National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing. We all know that. And Ernie Irvan? Wow, that's such an interesting name. Ernie Irvan going with Earnhardt along on the inside. The race cars hurtle around the 4th bend before they hit the finishing straight. That's gonna hit the, Irving's car touches Marlin's car, which nudges Earnhardt's number 3 in the right rear end. Whoa! Earnhardt's car goes out of control. He touched and hits the wall head-on at 190 miles, 305 kilometers per hour. Trouble! And bounces off in a cloud of smoke. It's a terrible crash. Screech! As it continues down the straight, the car flips onto its roof. Wow! Earnhardt's car is hit by a race car. Bang! And then by another car. Bump! The track is littered with smoking cars. All of the field is torn up. The number 3 finally comes to a halt. Earnhardt's car is destroyed. There is no movement from Dale Earnhardt's shattered car. Within seconds, the emergency vehicles arrive at Earnhardt's car. Earnhardt's number 3 went head-on into the wall at 190 miles per hour. It looks like they're going to have to cut him out of the car. The hushed crowd waits as the rescue crews work to free the driver. Then, to the relief of the crowd, Earnhardt is on his feet and he is walking to the ambulance. He gives a thumbs up to the crowd. That is one tough customer. In the hospital, Earnhardt is told that he has a broken collarbone and a sternum. That's not going to stop me from racing next week. In the very next week, Earnhardt is back in the racing seat at Indianapolis. Dale Earnhardt comes into the pit lane, and it looks like Dale Earnhardt is getting out of his car. Later at an interview, obviously the injuries from last week's crash got to you out there. I'll tell you, leaving that number 3 car was the hardest thing I've ever done. But Dale Earnhardt was no quitter. The next weekend, Dale Earnhardt crosses the start-finish line during qualification at Watkins Glen, New York. He did it. He's on the pole here at the Glen. Unbelievable. He has also set a new track record with a broken clavicle? I think you say that. And a broken sternum. On race day, Earnhardt fans wore newly printed t-shirts. Okay, that's hilarious. The shirt here says, "On the pole at the Glen, it hurts so good." Okay, that's actually funny. I would totally wear that as a shirt. And then this guy just straight up has a Dale Earnhardt, I guess, hair on his back. Or not Dale Earnhardt, my bad. A number 3 on his back. I mean, that's one way to show you're a fan of somebody. Anyway. Or a fan of a NASCAR driver. Anyway, while waiting on the truck in his car... oh my god, let me reread that again. While waiting on the track in his car, Earnhardt is interviewed. Dale, this is the day you stayed. Dale, this is the day you stay, or do you come out of the car? I'm a little sore in my shoulder right now, but we'll just have to see how it goes. Earnhardt starts well and leads the race. This guy is incredible. 2 weeks ago, we thought it was all over for him. Earnhardt leads for most of the race, but the pain wears him down, and Earnhardt finishes 6th. At the end of the season, Dale Earnhardt's championship position was 4th. He was never to achieve that 8th championship win. Sadly, he was killed 5 years later in 2001 in a very tragic crash at the Daytona 500. Oh, and of course, Lewis Hamilton, Formula One rookie driver. In 1992, news crews from Wait, what? Hold on. In 1992, news crews from a children's TV show is filming a RC car event. What? Hold on. What TV show? What children's TV show was this? Okay, now I'm curious. Can someone in the comments let me know about that specifically? I'd actually really like to know. Anyway, as I was saying, the winner is a 7-year-old named Lewis Hamilton. You're pretty good at it. Is it easy? No. It is 3 years later. Lewis has been racing karts, small race cars with no suspension or bodywork, in the Super 1 British Championship. From the age of 8, his father, Anthony, is his manager and mechanic. 2nd and 5th in the first 2 heats, it's just not fast enough. If you tell me what's wrong, I'll try to fix it. Lewis waits while his father tinkers with the cart. He really wants to win that final race. In the last race, Lewis is cheered on by his family. Come on, Lewis! He takes the checkered flag in first place. Lewis finishes the season by winning the Super 1 British Championship in the cadet class. I think that's how you say that. That same year, Lewis is at the Autosport Awards. He meets Ron Dennis, the Formula One McLaren Mercedes team boss. I want to race in Formula One. Can I drive for your team? Go win some more races, and we'll see. The going is tough, but he has to fit school in between the busy race schedule and training. From 1996 to 1990... Wait, what? Oh, from 1996 to 1997, not 1, Lewis continues to race in karts. Oh, I read that whole thing backwards. Okay, let me just reread that again real quick. I want to race in Formula 1. Can I drive for your team? Go and win some more races, and we'll see. From 1996 to 1997, Lewis continues to race in karts. The going is tough. He has to fit school in between the busy race schedule and training. When all else fails, just reread it again. There is little time to spend with his friends when bullies take an interest in him. nobody will bother when I become a black belt. He takes up karate? Interesting. The sport of karting is expensive to compete in. His father has to hold down 3 jobs. We need some sponsorship to help pay for all this. Between 1996 and 1997, Lewis wins 4 more British kart titles. The following year, Ron Dennis signs Lewis, age 13, for McLaren's development program. There is now money and support for Lewis in his racing and schoolwork. With McLaren behind him, Lewis goes on to win the European Karting Championship in 2000. At the age of 15 in 2001, he competes in the Super 8 World Karting Championship, finishing 15th. In 2001, Lewis moves into single-seat race cars. The following year, he finishes 3rd in the Formula Renault's Championship. I think I'm saying that right. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Anyway, this is more difficult than I first thought it would be. At the next attempt, he wins the title. This is more like it. He moves up to Formula 3 in 2003. How fitting, right? Anyway, the first season sees him coming in 5th in the championship. The next season, he wins 15 out of the 20 races and wins the title. This isn't part of the story, but I'm just going to say it down here. Well done, Lewis. After his success in Formula 3, Lewis is signed up by the Art Grand Prix race team for the 2006 GP2 series. If this is it, I will do well in the championship. Maybe I'll get a crack at Formula 1. A single-seat race car championship is where all the cars share the same chassis and engine, so that true driver skills are reflected. Okay, that's actually interesting. At the British GP2 race at Silverstone, Lewis's skills are impressive. P quit around the outside of Piccone, I think so you say that. And here comes Hamlin. They are 3 wide into maggots. It's not going to work. Yes, it is. And Hamilton leads. Much to his father's joy, Lewis goes on to win the race and the championship. In November 2006, Lewis's dreams of becoming an F1 race car driver comes true. Formula 1 McLaren Mercedes team has announced today the signing of 21-year-old Lewis Hamilton. In his first race in Formula 1 in Melbourne, Australia, Lewis gets a podium position by finishing 3rd. By the end of the 4th race in Spain, he has 4 podium finishes and is incredibly leading the championship. At the beginning of the 6th race in Canada, Lewis is on pole position for the first time. He builds up a 20-second lead, but when Kubica? I'm just going to say K. But when K crashes, the safety car comes out and the rest of the cars catch up with him. Lewis stays cool and remains in front. The safety car is deployed a second time. And again, the rest of the field catches up. The rookie driver Lewis Hamilton wins his first Grand Prix. But he is just too fast and goes on to win his first F1 race. Lewis Hamilton leads the championship till the last race when his car suffers gear problems and he misses winning the 2007 championship by a single point. That honestly sucks. The end. It might be the end of those stories, but it's not the end of this video just yet. How to become a race car driver. The world of race car driving is extremely competitive. Only the best will get to race cars. First things first. The first thing you should do is to read as much as possible about the sport. Also, try to get to meet and talk with the people involved in the sport. From mechanics to drivers, they will all have valuable information to help you on your way to that ultimate goal. A good way to meet these people is to go to racetracks and, if possible, get a pit pass. Try volunteering for jobs such as selling tickets or ushering. After that, try to get onto a race team. Offer to wash engines or polish the race car. Do whatever you can and talk to as many people as possible. The more you hang around race circuits, the more you will learn. Early racing. You can never be too young to start racing. Many of today's champions started racing karts at a very early age. Lewis Hamilton, and that was previously mentioned, for example, started racing at the age of 8. There are many local karting organizations, as well as the WKA, the World Karting Association, which can supply information on training and race events. There are also racing schools, many of which can be found on the internet at www.racingschools.com. Learning to race can be very expensive. Besides the cost of the racing machine, there are the cost of maintenance and transportation to the racing meetings. If drivers show promise, they may attract a sponsor who will carry parts or all of the costs. Ironically, kind of like YouTube, in a sense. Alright. Here is the glossary. I'm not going to read all these words out, but you can read them if you want. And finally, here's some more... There we go. Here's some more information about racing. Alright. Oh, and by the way, this is the other one, the other books in this series. I got Race Car Drivers, as that is the most interesting to me. Not that I'd want to be a race car driver, though. I just like the sport. But anyways, without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to y'all later.